Create a strategic blueprint for your family. Contact the Resource Center today.
Well, good morning, Wildcat Nation.
Yeah.
Here we are.
It's a little cold and rainy and, but we all deserve to sleep in after that football game.
Well, I guess we do. Some boys needed to sleep in or something.
Yeah.
They deserve it anyway.
What a football game that was. I caught the tail end of it and, like we were talking, man, the Wildcats are on a tear.
Yeah, they really are.
I think somebody spiked or put some catnip somewhere,
Well, the headline I read was the last time Rogersville had a season this good was when we had Dylan Cole and won the state championship. Of course, he's now a captain of the Houston Texans. I think I said that right.
Yeah. Well, it'd have to be the Houston.
It's not the Oilers, because they moved and they became the Tennessee Titans.
So it's the
Texans, yeah. It's them. So, hey, that's really awesome.
I think they're doing great. Colton Burney, I know him, and, he's a real good kid, but boy, he was everywhere Friday night and played a huge game. There was 2 or 3 of the players that were just like they were possessed. They wanted to win, and they didn't slow down.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it was good
I think they've
stuff.
only lost one, maybe just one game, I think. Maybe 2. I don't know.
Yeah, 1 or 2 games.
1 or 2. Yeah. I'm on my 2nd cup of Storytime coffee.
Yeah, me too. I mean, wow, if you want good coffee, and you know what? They've got incredible cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, well, that's from Time to Loaf down at the Post, the Heritage Post.
Hey,
down there.
You come out here, they'll heat them up for you.
Yes.
And you can have some good coffee and sit there and watch it rain. I mean, Storytime Coffee right out here in Jamestown, they're awesome.
Now, do you know if you got the Sumatra or the Guatemalan?
I got the dark roast because it's, a day like today, you got to get a little jump start. And so I got the dark roast and then a pretty good sized cinnamon roll. I asked for the largest ones they have, so I think she'd give that one to you, though.
Well, thanks for the cinnamon roll.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
It was a good cinnamon roll.
Storytime Coffee, I mean, a small business coming into Rogersville like that, I think we got to support them. Mm-hmm. Because I tell you what, it's tough right now with COVID and all this stuff that we've went on this year. Our tagline, kind of our theme.
At the Resource
Center, our theme back in October, November of last year, we were developing our theme for this year, and our theme became Focus 2020. And boy, I tell you what, if I'd have known, then what I know now about this year, I would have emphasized focus a little bit more because, the one thing we've had to really do this year is really focus on our business planning, if you own a small business, and this is your first year out of the gate, boy, how tough would that be? So as small community, we got to support our local businesses to make sure that everybody can kind of weather this storm.
Well, you say that, and I can't tell you, in my business as a lawyer, I do a lot of business consulting. I can't count the number of people that I've had to work with that have got their businesses in trouble because they didn't have good financial counsel. They didn't have good legal counsel, and they're down the road. And I know everybody thinks getting financial advice is expensive, getting legal advice is expensive, and it is.
Yeah.
But it's way cheaper to get it up front and get it done right up front than it is to have to correct it down the road.
What's the number one reason businesses fail? Small businesses, lack of capital, right? They spend too much, too quick on things that they don't necessarily need. And I think that goes back to planning. A lot of people will start a business on a thought and then end in just financially and emotionally, and it's just devastated them.
Right.
But who are they kidding? To run a business in today's world, you got to have a plan. You got to have a contingency plan. You got to have a backup plan. You got to have an out. You got to have an in. You name it.
But you know what I think is that when people do that type of planning up front, tons of people have great ideas for businesses, and I've seen a lot of great ideas for businesses. I've had a lot of great ideas for businesses that have been successful and have been not successful.
Right.
But the ones where people, good idea, maybe even not so good idea, when they put the time in to plan it well and know what their numbers are and know what their marks are, like this this is surviving, this is thriving, this is drowning a little bit, and know where that path to success is, then you kind of can have an idea about, well, if I'm off track,
right,
I can more easily know what I need to do to get back on track.
Right. You know, it's the insurance business, all right? A lot of people go into the insurance business. Years ago, in another lifetime, I was told by a manager, you hire everybody that passes the exam. So find out who's doing the exams in your area, whether it's 80 Banker or some outfit like that, and they said, just hire them all. And I said, well, why do you want to do that? Because only 1 out of 100 are going to survive the first 3 years. So, you know, when you're considering a business, look at other businesses that are similar or, you know, like coffee shops. You could look at a lot of coffee shops that have come and went. And why? And it's going to be no plan. They didn't put enough thought into it, or they didn't have enough capital or backup, or they spent too much on advertising, when really it's the good old get you a stack of business cards and go pound the pavement and promote your own business type thing.
Or get on K-ROG.
Get on K-ROG. You know,
loyal followers.
An inexpensive way to promote to thousands of people in our local community.
That's right.
Right? And so, you know, like K-ROG, you know, we're all doing this together because it's great for our community. But let's not kid ourselves. It'd be a nice thing to have some sponsors that want to contribute some for the local community, but you know, it's all working together in our local community to make our local community better.
Well, and that's one of the things we've tried to do with our sponsorships, because nobody's trying to make money on K-ROG. We're just doing this because we love our town, and we it's kind of fun. Let's be honest, it's fun to do this. Yeah. So we've made our sponsorships really cheap. You can be a sponsor on K-ROG for $25 a month, and I don't know any small business that can't afford $25 a month.
Well, or individuals. I mean,
sure.
I mean, you know, this is better than a printed newspaper because it's live coverage, and you know, all the high school events and all the sports activities and all the community things that are going on. We have enough people that are connected now that, you know, we can get the word out, and we can, you know, we can have discussions about our community, you know, and that is better than printed newspapers.
Well, and that's one of the things we're talking about, as you know. People love the sports that we're covering on K-ROG. That's one of the more expensive things for us to produce, because we have to go on location to do that. And so, you know, we're kind of like a public TV station, public radio. We survive on donations and sponsors like anybody else. So if you like what we're doing, sports or anything else, give us a call or hit us up on Facebook and say, hey, I'm willing to kick in $10 a month or $5 a month.
Maybe we should play Downton Abbey for a couple of months.
I don't know what the rights to that would cost.
I don't know. It brought in a lot of money for PBS.
Yeah, I guess it did, didn't it?
So, but, you know, I think the intentions are, I'm a big believer in K-ROG because Rogersville community is wonderful. But
it really is.
We kind of got to keep our secret, you know, because everybody's leaving California.
I know.
Right?
We keep telling our realtors here, say, if they're coming from California, you got to vet them first. You know?
We're going to have to vet them.
We got to vet them, make sure that they're going to fit in well.
Yeah, so
far so good, I think.
You know, it's nice to have our community, and, you know, this is a great platform that I think, didn't you originally come up with this, you and a couple of your buddies?
I was in bed one night laying there and had seen what some local folks were doing during quarantine and said, let's make K-ROG and have one place for it. And it just kind of took off from there. So, Yeah, so from a geek's dream, right? Right.
To this.
A hillbilly geek, I think.
And, you know, the thing here, again, it's about having sponsorships, having good quality information, and everybody's volunteering.
Right.
You know?
Everybody.
And so last time I was talking to a couple of the guys, it's like, hey, we've all voted to double your salary. You know, because that coverage you had the other night was awesome.
It was.
You know?
Yeah, those guys are great.
And so when you're doubling zero, it's great.
Yeah. We can do that all day long and twice on Sunday, can't we?
Yep.
Well, that's good. If speaking of information, if people need some good information about insurance, financial planning to lay that solid foundation, whether they have a business or don't have a business, just want to make sure when they hit maybe those retirement years that they can spend a day or two a week volunteering for K-ROG because their income is secure.
Yeah.
They can call you.
Yeah, 882-1800 at the Resource Center, and would be glad to help.
Sure.
We have a dozen people on staff at our office, and there's, I tell folks, the vision of our company 20 years ago was to have a one-stop shop for insurance and financial services. And it worked out over the years, a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, but I've got good quality people in the office, and auto and home insurance, that's a constantly changing environment due to our either wind or hail stones that come down that are either a nickel or a bowling ball. It depends on where you live, right? And now I think the thing coming up I've been getting questions on is with the cost of building and construction cost going through the roof. What's that? The question was put up to me. What's that going to do to replacement cost calculators with insurance next year on renewal? And when you give it a year to catch up, if this continues, then we could all be seeing rate increases in a year based off the storms we've had and the replacement costs of homes and things like that. So,
well, two things I want to bring up.
Yep.
One of them is, you mentioned the Resource Center being a one-stop shop. I really appreciate that. You're kind of like me. You have collected a network of professional people, and you're in my network, and I think I'm in yours.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we're doing a seminar tomorrow night and Wednesday on estate planning at your place.
Yep.
882-1800. There might be a spot left. I don't know, but you can call and find out. If not, we'll put you in the November ones.
Yep.
So I appreciate that. People call me for random referrals, and you too. So it's good that we can do that with each other. And this one I think we're going to save for next week.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to know. This is a question I've seen coming up. What if my home or business is destroyed in a riot? Is there coverage for that? Because it's not here, and I don't think it'll ever be here.
Yeah,
certainly not in
question.
Rogers. Certainly not in Rogersville. At least not for long, I don't think. But there are business owners nationwide that are dealing with their homes, and businesses have been destroyed by rioters.
Right.
And I'm hearing some rumors that in some cases might not be covered. So let's talk about that next week.
That's going to be a good topic next week, so you got to tune in.
You're going to want to tune in for next week to find out about
we
riot coverage.
We will dig into that because I think that's important for everybody to have an understanding of how your insurance works.
Yes,
I do.
Because
not only that type of what do they call that, a peril?
I don't know. You're the pro.
All right, that's definitely a peril.
A hazard,
peril, whatever you want to call it. That, and there's other things that people get surprised with when they don't understand their insurance policy. And I'm not, I know everybody's not going to go and just spend a nice, cool, rainy afternoon and read your insurance policy.
I think I could stay awake.
Yeah, if you wanted to take a nap, that'd be a good way to start.
It would.
But, understanding your insurance, we always have advocated that, and we try to educate people so you can make an informed choice. But, yes, I would love to dig into that. That would be a good show, so tune in next week for sure.
We'll do that next week. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We will join you next week.